12 years old, I rode on the top of a
Marcus Smart,
4-year-old
huge three.
I think it was Sioux Falls, South Dakota. They get 150 plus.
I wasn't born until the Taft administration. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Scottie Scheffler goes for the Grand Slam. The Golden Knights bring on another head coach, and Brandel Chambly joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with Lionel Messi, 1 week shy of his 39th birthday, scoring 3 goals yesterday as Argentina beat Algeria 3-0. These 3 goals tie Messi with Miroslav Klose of Germany for the most World Cup goals ever.
In his first
Yesterday was a
game
high-scoring day as well for Kylian Mbappe of France, who had 2 goals, and Erling Haaland of Norway, who also had 2 goals. Wilbon, what does this say to you about Messi and this World Cup?
Tony, about Messi, it's like we started yesterday's show. I mean, for those who think he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time, it just confirms it. It's more confirmation, Holmes, because he goes out there at this age and he scores a goal. What got me, Tony, was that it seemed so effortless. I mean, I found myself jumping out of the chair more on Mbappe's goals, but Messi, he just seems to be in that place. It's like Gretzky was. Like, why is he there for
enough
this
emphasis
rebound?
on it?
Why is he in that spot? And why is no one covering him dead center in the middle of the field, moving straight toward the goalkeeper? Why is that? How come nobody can find Messi? And I think that, there's magic to great players, whether you think they're the GOAT or the runner-up or not quite Pelé, whatever that is. And so when you have those guys score, and Harry Kane scoring today, when you have the great score like this to start the World Cup is magical. And I think it brings in people who are amateur fans and not been at it all that long like me.
I'm going to go to the larger issue here, which is what does this mean for this World Cup? And I am guessing here. But I know that there are 48 teams in this World Cup, which is 16 more than have ever been there before, right? It went from 32 to 48. And I'm guessing this additional 16, they're not on the top of the rankings. They're more like in the NCAA basketball tournament, the teams from the automatic one-bid league. So I am wondering if, especially in the group stage, if there's going to be a lot more scoring because the competition is not as arduous in some cases. Other than that, in terms of Messi, I am thrilled by this because I know that you've never liked Messi. You've always liked Ronaldo.
Yes!
You like Mbappe more. You like Lamine Yamal more. You gave Messi his props at some point when he won the World Cup, but you held back. You held back on that. And I think that 3 is larger than 2. And he had a hat trick. He had a hat trick in soccer. And yes, and he is making his case to be the GOAT as we watch. Yes, I'm not saying he is.
Now keep in mind, Tony, when you talk about goals in 48 and who's seated where, I mean, Spain, who people think is either the best team in the world in terms of talent or second best, couldn't win their match. Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and so you also have a first-round match with Croatia, England, which in Russia, I know I was there to see.
LeBron goes down the middle and reverse dunks
that entire World Cup. So it's not as simple as sort of 1-ish versus 16-ish. It's just been great so far. It has been. Let's move to the U.S. Open, which tees off tomorrow at Shinnecock Hills. The betting favorite is world number 1, of course, Scottie Scheffler, who with a win will become just the 7th player all time to win each of golf's 4 majors. Tone, what would completing the Grand Slam mean for Scheffler?
There's only 6 people who have ever done this. Most recently, Rory McIlroy did it in 2025 at the Masters. And he sank to his knees when he won as if the weight had buckled him. Other than Rory, we have Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Gary Player, Gene Sarazen, and Ben Hogan. That is a very elite table that you're sitting at. If he gets there, Scottie Scheffler gets there, he'll get there on the day of his 30th birthday. And only Tiger and Jack and Gary Player got there sooner than that. It would put him in a class where he could become an all-time great player. There's no GOAT debate in golf. It's Jack and Tiger. That's all there are. And that's because of what they do with majors. So when you start piling up majors, it begins to matter. Rory has 6, Brooks Koepka has 5, Scottie has 4. This would give him 5 and the career Grand Slam. It's a long way to go to Tiger and Jack, but at least you get on the road. And then the question is, how far can you walk down that road?
Tony, I'm not going to disagree with a word of that. I agree with every word of that. Here's now my issue as we spin this forward a little bit. I don't see him winning. I don't see Scottie Scheffler winning. He hasn't had that great a year. He had a great years in 2023, 24, 25, not in 26. He's won once.
Memphis, so I got a first-hand look of the work that he puts in.
Cam Young has won twice. And a young fellow named Matthew Fitzpatrick has won 3 times this season. So there are people, they're all ahead of Scottie right now. We know he can turn that. We know he can turn that with one win in the United States Open, no question about it. I can't wait to see this, Tony. But you know, I always thought that while Scottie Scheffler is no question number 1, and he's the best out there today, I never thought people should put him in the same conversation as Tiger and Jack. And even he said that one of the things I loved, about Scheffler was that he, after winning a huge tournament, said, "Stop it. Don't ever put me in that conversation." I love that about Scheffler. No. So I don't see him winning this week.
That takes years, but he's also methodical. Well, he finished second in the Masters. So he's been a major where he was 2. I mean, I don't think you can ever count him out. Let's move to hockey. And the Golden Knights employing their 3rd head coach in as many months. In late March, Vegas fired Bruce Cassidy, who had won a Stanley Cup just 3 years ago. Subsequently, the team has kept Cassidy from interviewing wherever he wants. The Golden Knights replaced Cassidy with John Tortorella, who then took them to the Stanley Cup Final Series before losing to Carolina. Vegas has now decided to say goodbye to Tortorella and has promoted 44-year-old Ryan Craig from their AHL affiliate into the position. Wilbon, what do you make of Vegas's moves?
I have no idea. But I have no idea every year when we discuss these moves, when NHL coaches are fired,
the last 5 years,
either close, right at the playoffs, right there. Maybe not as radical as the World Cup team, which fired its coach at Tunisia after one game. That was unbelievable because you got to keep playing. It's not like that single elimination. They got 2 more games in group, and they got to play with a new coach. It's like, whoa. Okay, it's not that radical, but Tone, I have no idea. I see the firings in the NHL, and every year, you and I have some story where we go, what? It's a what situation for me. I'm not going to venture out into that.
I can't disagree, and I won't disagree with firing Bruce Cassidy. I mean, it may seem out of the ordinary because he'd won a Stanley Cup.
Guys, younger guys
6
on
out
the
of
team,
7
guys who haven't been in the playoffs,
and it worked.
And doing that.
This is the proof of it. Tortorella comes in, he takes a team that is essentially capsizing, and he takes them all the way to the Stanley Cup final, and on the way, they beat the best team in hockey. Don't just beat Colorado, they sweep Colorado. But to me, I don't get getting rid of Tortorella. There's only 3 possibilities here, Mike. One is that the guys in the corner office, the GM and the owner, thought they should have beaten Carolina, and they didn't want Tortorella, or they didn't like him personally, or Tortorella said to them when he signed, I'm not going forward here. I'm only going to do the rest of this year. Maybe that came from Tortorella, but I find it sort of a head scratcher.
Is definitely
I gotta ask
the
you a
defensive
question.
anchor.
Are you wearing a jean jacket? Does Zegna make jean jackets? Where did you get that?
Zegna will make anything. They'll make anything you want. You know what I'm saying?
A jean jacket.
Yeah.
Wow.
A little denim.
Let's take a break.
In my life.
Coming up, will Shinnecock be easier than it has been? We've got U.S. Open questions for Golf Channel studio analyst Randall Chambly. Randall, let us start with this. The USGA says it's letting Shinnecock be Shinnecock this time around. Well, they've played there before. Tell us